how you doing? So I haven't done a vlog in a minute. I've been kind of keeping up on my 60 seconds. Some of those 60 seconds are pretty cool. I'm really enjoying doing the 60-second thing. I think it's cool. My wife was the one that invented it. And she's like, hey, Josh, 60 seconds. And I'm like, what? And it's become a thing now. I'm getting so many views on those things. It's insane. I don't know. It's so weird. It's because it's like kind of like the antithesis of the way I was taught scripture, which my dad would like spend hours teaching one subject, and I try and teach a subject under 60 seconds. So it's very much the antithesis of what I was raised in, or not even raised, but like just taught. I mean, there is something to be said for understanding nuance, and I think that's important. But Jesus Christ spoke in parables, and he spoke in those parables so that people could understand them and understand them quickly. He would use real life analogies so that people who knew those real life situations could then understand the spiritual truth that underpinned that metaphor. So I'm starting to realize that throughout my life I've kind of done this wrong. I've known that people are going to be antagonistic against me because of my beliefs. And so what I have done is I just lambasted them. I just was like, come right out, smack them between the eyes with the truth. And if they didn't like it, they would leave and I wouldn't have to deal with them anymore. But I've been going to this church for a while, and I'm starting to realize that the better way is to listen to God and teach what the people can hear. And if they can hear it, you teach it. And if they can't hear it, you don't teach it. And most of the people there, they don't care to learn. Like most of them just don't care to learn. So I don't teach anything to any of them. And it's been difficult because I really want to teach. I love teaching. I love expanding people's understanding of scripture. And those 60 seconds, man, I could talk about those things for hours. Like you pick one of those 60-second blips. I've made whole videos about them. I could talk about them I can go into huge detail and blah, blah, blah. Just because I really believe that if you understand something, you can make it make sense to like a 7-year-old. And I think that's what the 60 seconds kind of does, is it forces me to focus on the most important parts of a spiritual concept and just make sure that people understand those parts. And when it comes to other parts, those can be explored later, after the fact. If you have questions, come on, ask them. We'll talk about them. We'll discuss them. I love talking about that stuff. I love discussing it. But I am grateful. That the thing is, I mean, I might run out of 60-second teachings because certain things require more than 60 seconds to explain. But there's still a lot more I can be doing. Like there's a lot of 60-second teachings out there. I just have to formulate them. And it was funny because like when Destiny first started doing it, she asked me questions about things that I knew and understood, and I've done it before. I've gotten these arguments and I'd throw down with these verses and just crush. But now I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see all my teachings now in this 30 or 60 seconds video. I'm like, okay, how do I break this down even more simply? How do I break this down even more simply? Now that I'm like doing my own 60-second videos, I'm like, okay, and if I go over 60 seconds, I'm like, okay, this needs to be refined more. What's some of the fluff I can cut? And then, okay, what's more fluff I can cut? Well, okay, what's more fluff I can cut? And then it's down to 60 seconds. I'm like, okay, that's it. Boom. And I do it. It's a great way to teach a spiritual truth to somebody that doesn't have years of biblical understanding or hasn't pursued the teachings like I have. I don't know. I've been watching some because I've been going through a lot of depression, and I've been trying to overcome it. I've battled depression for a long time now. when Destiny became part of my life, I was starting to get out of my depression because I missed my kids, and then I lost Judah, and I'm like, oh, I'm right back there. So I don't know. Anyway, so I've been watching this guy on TikTok. His name is David Goggins. He's a freak, man. And I love his message. His message is all about never avoid the pain. He's like, don't chase hope. Just, realize that life is suffering. And if you can thrive in the suffering, that makes you the strongest dude in the room. And I've always had a very similar concept where it says, I used to tell people that strength is defined by the amount of resistance endured. So if you can endure a lot of resistance, that makes you stronger than another person. But if I was thinking about it, I'm like, what exactly is resistance? And resistance is persecution. It's tribulation. It's all the bad things that can happen to you. That's resistance. And so I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, why does God allow bad things to happen to good people? I'm like, well, because the good people, the righteous people, when they endure tribulation or resistance, they get stronger for it. And the less righteous or the weak, they get weaker. But also God also allows a way for you to escape if you think it's too much for you to handle. Because God said, I will not give you more than you can handle. But then he says, but if you believe that that's not true, I'll give you a way to escape. I don't know. There's a lot of mixed signals up in there, but I think I'm hearing it. I'm trying to be stronger. It's hard though, man. I miss that kid so much. Oh. Went for a run today. I ran for 3-point-something miles. 5-point-something kilometers. It was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't run hard. I haven't run in like years. And I just ran for 3 miles. So I was like, okay, well, I'm obviously in pretty decent shape if I can run 3 miles for no reason. So, not bad. It's just a mild jog. I was just going like, what's the bare minimum that's still considered running? And you know what I'm saying? That's basically what I was doing. But I came back. I wasn't out of breath. I was happy. I was good. I was content. So wasn't hacking up a lung. So that's a thing. So I'm probably going to do that on a reg now. I'm probably not going to go crazy with it at first. But we will attempt to do that. Yeah. So that's basically that. I don't know what else to tell you. My wife and I went on an anniversary. That was funny. Our tire popped. And we had to go to a tire place and get a replacement tire. And while we went all the way up to, where did we go, babe? Fort Collins. We went to Fort Collins. We were gonna have like a really nice dinner and all that stuff, but we ended up going to like what is it? China? What was it? Great Panda or Panda Express? We went to Panda Express. Because we had to spend so much money on the tire. We're like, okay, I guess we're eating cheap. So. But my wife was looking good, and she bought me a shirt. It was fun. We had a good time. It's a rough ride. It's a rough trip going out there and back. But anyway, I think I'm going to cut it there. My wife has finished dinner, and she has called me to it. And I'm sitting here making a video, my daily vlog, as it were. I definitely need to make more of these. But, so I'm going to let you go. I love God because I love virtue, justice, salvation, Judah, and Eden. And I love my wife. I'm just grateful, God, that you would deliver me from all temptation, that we can overcome it, and that you just give me the strength to endure each and every day, and to just get stronger every day, so that way I don't feel so oppressed. Anyway, I love you. Take it easy. Bye. What the hell?